Father's Day later
Mm-hmm.
because everything happened with my dad and it's like, being sick or whatever.
Right.
And apparently, according to my brother Jim, be like, he's thinking Logan's.
Is that what your dad's thinking?
That's my dad thinking.
Or is that what...
that's what my dad is saying.
Stop. Trying to get a copy.
And this... Ashley doesn't like Logan's. Because according to her, they don't make good green beans or broccoli.
Okay.
Yeah.
That happens.
It does.
Oh, look, 5 seconds on, and we already have a bot.
Lovely. Bug off.
Yay. The bots are learning from the filters we had in place that Bobo nicely put in place for us.
Oh, thanks, Bobo.
So, well, that was a couple weeks ago. It was a couple months ago, years ago, however long.
What have you? Yeah.
Where's the thing?
Lurking.
Hey, Bob. Speaking of Bobo.
Yeah. Yeah. If we can get rid of this nasty little bot that decided to show up in our chat.
Where is the report button?
I don't know.
Oh, it's over here. Report. Bot. Go. Selling views. Submit. Block this user. Go away. Okay. We're here now.
Nice.
Back to posting this like I was planning on doing. Problem?
Just more again.
Still dealing with that we were talking about?
No. It's a different issue.
Okay.
Well, it's more of a, can people please make up their mind what they're going to do? Because some of us have to drive an hour.
Right. I get that.
Some of us have to drive an hour and a half. Hey, can you mute the mics for a second?
Okay, we should be back. Nothing serious. I'll start the uncut here because nothing really interesting happened before that point.
No. Just I'd be like, I need to discuss something that was a little more private.
That's all it was.
That people didn't necessarily, who were not part of the conversation, didn't need to hear about.
Yeah, admittedly, had a across the mind earlier, we would have waited till after to actually go live.
Yeah,
But anyway,
you're fine.
it's all
Like,
good.
Yeah, it's all good. You know, text pop up and it's like, oh, okay, let me talk about this for a second.
Yeah. Checking. Oh, hang on. I hadn't even passed this to you yet.
No. Which I need to replace these so badly. Yeah, look at these things. They're shredded.
I don't even know how that happened. They've been like that for what? At least a year now?
At least a year.
Didn't even happen during the move.
Yeah. A little more slack there, please.
I'm trying, but it's wrapped itself around. There we go.
Excellent.
I'll
All right,
pick that
so-
speaker up here in a bit.
Okay, so can people hear us now?
They should be able to. Definitely can hear D-Lit.
Well, let's get their response. They can hear us. And if anybody in the chat who can hear us, please give an indication that you can hear us.
I can tell you we have audio going out
All right.
because I'm seeing the little dials move up and down as we
Mhm.
talk.
Okay. Werewolf face?
Hey, Miss Colleen, how are you doing this
Hi,
evening?
Colleen. How are you?
Thank you for letting us know that we could be heard. Hey, Ashley.
Hey, Ashley. Yeah,
You're coming 5x5, Paladin Pirate?
that's okay.
I don't know what that means.
Okay. Okay, so good. People can hear
Yeah.
us. Good.
So we'll give it just a couple more minutes and then we will get going.
Exactly.
And I apparently messed up the title up here.
Mm.
I'm seeing.
Okay, it's not plus.
No, it's
David.
There we go.
Got it.
That is fixed.
Now I'm curious what Paladin Pilot said a minute ago. It's probably happened during Drew's where cat phase.
Now,
What
I
is the
don't-
context of
and
that?
granted, we have made the joke that you're the dog, I'm the cat.
Oh, okay, fair.
But at the same time, I don't think I've really laid into the whole cat thing.
No, you
Cat
haven't.
joke. So
You do make cat jokes every once in a while.
every once in a while, but I don't we don't play into that as we play as into the dog joke.
No,
thing.
no,
So
no.
for you, it's just not how we run it.
Exactly. Hope you enjoy your nicely clean car, Miss Colleen.
All right. I need to replace the batteries in that on-air sign.
Oh, by the way, with info and stuff, I could not find for the life of me any like home release information about this movie whatsoever.
Really?
Yeah,
I would have assumed.
my normal,
I'm not saying. I'm just curious myself.
yeah, my normal sources did not indicate it.
Well, there are Blu-rays at least.
Yeah,
So
what I'm referring to is more like information about their releases, when they were released, like
Right.
how many they sold, that kind of thing.
oh, Paladin Part says I think 5x5 means loud and clear.
Oh, okay.
That's fair. Yeah, I can understand because I had a hard time finding trivia for this film. So
well, be like it's a newer film. I get that.
right, but I mean, for whatever reason, this film does not have a lot of information,
No, it doesn't.
and I don't even know where I would even look on here.
Oddly enough, be like I normally do the Wikipedia page, and there was nothing, absolutely nothing. It's like, yes, you can find information about
yeah, you can find
Emmett Otter's Jug Band Christmas DVD release, the Blu-ray, what have you, but for some reason, be like there's no list of information about David 2025, it's Blu-ray DVD release.
I don't know.
Yeah, so I don't have it for this one. Just letting you guys know.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and get started then, shall we?
Yes.
The Cellcast is recorded in front of a live streaming audience.
Hello and welcome to another episode of The Cellcast. Joining me today is a man who just likes hanging out with the sheep. Welcome, Jacob.
Nay, because they're smelly, and apparently it's the only job I have, apparently. Well, thanks.
Well, it could be worse.
It could be. Why, thank you. Let me introduce our co-host, a man who walked into the middle of the field and was in face-to-face with an albino giant. Welcome, Drew.
I threw a rock into the air, and where it landed, I know not where. Why was there an earthquake? That's the closest thing to a joke I have for this.
And why was he pasty white?
I don't know.
We'll explore that later.
We have some thoughts.
Just
This doesn't
a
feel
few.
like it's...
A few.
It does kind of feel like this was Europeanified, but that's a word.
Americanified, let's say that.
But yeah, tonight we are reviewing the film David from 2025, a Christian movie.
Is this the
That's
first
a
Christian
biblical
movie we've
story.
done so far?
No. Earlier this year, we did a Jonah VeggieTales movie.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
And then way back in our first year, and we've done a rewind of it, we did Prince of Egypt.
Yeah, that's right. Okay.
Though
yeah.
that's more of a secular adaptation
True.
of a biblical story.
Well, I'm thinking more like very modern Christian movie.
No, I think this is technically the first.
Yes.
Of the post. What do you call that? The post Passion of the Christ Christian movies.
Okay. Yeah.
Because that does seem to be where the divide is.
Yeah, there's a distinction.
There's a distinction. It's like before that, you could only find stuff in Christian bookstores, and after that, you could find it in a theater.
Yes.
Sometimes. And sometimes, well, that's neither here nor there.
Yeah.
But yeah, tonight we are reviewing that film.
Mhm.
Why don't we go ahead and jump into our spoiler-free thoughts on this?
Yes.
Certified fresh and spoiler free.
So this is the first time I have seen the movie. I did not go see it when it was in theaters,
Mhm.
mostly because it was Christmas time, and that's a busy time of year, and I
Uh-huh.
just didn't get to the theater. I will say when I first heard about this movie last year, I had mixed thoughts because, like we said, it is a Christian movie and it is a retelling of a biblical tale,
Mhm.
both of which film has not exactly had a great track record with.
No, they have not.
Now, some people will fight me over the Christian movie aspect of how some of them have not been good, and there have been some well-made Christian films. Not saying they're not there,
True.
but admittedly, Angel Studios, of most of the people who make these, do tend to make more entertaining Christian films
Yes.
than some of the others. But yeah, I had mixed thoughts going this because I had heard it was good, but I had these other two thoughts that were lingering in my head.
Mm-hmm.
So come, what was that? January, when we were first making out the list for this year, and I saw you'd put this movie on there. I thought, well, we'll see what that's like when we get there. No point in getting in a hurry.
Very true.
So going into this and watching it, I was happy to find it on Netflix, and B, I will tell you, it is very well animated for what it is.
Mm-hmm.
That sounds, saying for what it is kind of makes it sound worse than I intended it to. It's a very well animated film. It's got a very early DreamWorks feel to it, or 3D DreamWorks film feel to it, which is not a bad thing. I still am not sure what I think about the film because it was not bad. At the same time, it did not hold me as well as I would have preferred. And to a degree, I'm wondering how much of that is the film and how much of that is I've just been busier lately and I haven't messed with my schedule enough to where I could watch the film with full without having the rest of the day wear on me. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So yeah, it's a very well done film. I don't know if it's a film really necessarily made for me, but I was actually surprised at how well done it was, if we're being honest. What are your thoughts?
Very similar to Drew himself. For me, I had not seen this movie before this watch. A friend of ours, Wendy, who's the leader of our singles group. Yes, I'm married, and we're both in the singles group. So
We hadn't kicked you out.
No, and I think they're going to kick us out anyway. But
your wife is still the teacher.
That is true. But
one of the teachers.
So with the be like, upon watching this, be like, okay, this is a fairly impressive movie. It is a retelling of First and Second Samuel, and it does a fairly decent job with it. Again, it's more of a modernization. It does cut out a little bit here and there for streamline the story. I did enjoy, the majority of the movie overall. I thought it was very well done animation wise. Design wise, I really enjoyed it. It does, like Drew said, like very DreamWorks in its aspect. The animation is beautiful. There are aspects of that I'm just like, what in the world were you thinking? And will people stop blowing up my phone? I enjoyed it. There are little aspects of that I have issue with, and we'll get into the dislikes. But overall, I thought it was really enjoyable. It is a good movie. It did very well in the theaters for what kind of budget it did. But again, like Drew said, most of them be like with Christian films that's hit and miss. We have a friend who goes and watches like every film that comes out that's a Christian based film and says just as glowing reviews about them. They're always good.
And then at least then I go and watch and go, it's a Hallmark movie.
Yeah.
For Christians.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, those don't usually work for me.
No, but I am going to shut my phone off because all I'm getting is I got ongoing messages going on about something that's going on tomorrow. But
hopefully a decision will be made.
Prayerfully a decision will be made. But overall, I thought it was a good movie. Again, there's a part of the more the theological nerd, the biblical nerd to me says, but you should have done this a little better.
The part that has been reading the Bible since you became a Christian.
Right.
20, 30 years, however long it's been.
Right. But where was I going with this? And I got distracted by a text. Overall, I enjoyed it. Again, I'm going to reiterate myself. It does have some problems. It talks like a modern American movie, which you have to, but again, we'll talk about those and dislikes. Overall, I did enjoy it. I did. There was like in my intro, I kind of gave away something I just despise. It was like, what in the world is this going on? This makes no sense. But overall, I did enjoy it. I would recommend it. It is on Netflix. If you are subscribed to Netflix, it's there. Go give it a watch. It's actually a pretty good movie. Now, if you're a biblical snob, it's got to be, completely correct in every aspect. Be like, you're probably gonna be disappointed. Be like, again,
it's not literally how it's written in the Bible.
No,
there are a lot of creative liberties.
There's a lot of creative liberties. It's like going to see a C.S. Lewis book being adapted into a movie. You're not going to be truly satisfied, or a J.R.R. Tolkien, or
Let's say I was pretty satisfied by The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe.
Yeah,
when it
I
came
was
out,
too.
But
I was too. My younger brother be like, he made the mistake of reading the book and then to go watch the movie and he absolutely hates it.
whereas I also read the book before watching the movie. I was like, oh, they actually are explaining this in a way that makes far more sense than the book did.
Right.
I'm fine with this because
Yeah.
this was the era in which it happened.
Exactly. But overall, be like, I did enjoy it. Again, aspects of I didn't. But yeah, we'll get into that.
Yeah. So why don't we go ahead and jump into the spoiler-filled section of our review?
Yeah.
The following is a spoiler-filled review for the film David. Listener discretion is advised. David was written and directed by Brent Dawes, who also directed Jungle Beat and Jungle Beat the movie.
I saw that.
I don't even know what they are,
Me either.
but I have bad feelings just from that. It's like, why do I have a bad feeling this is going to be a bad Christian cartoon for kids? I don't even know why I think that, but
Because our experience with
our experience, yeah, we both grew up on Mac and Me. Was it Mac and Me?
Mac and what are you talking about? Mac and Me.
McGee and Me. I'm thinking of McGee and Me. Mac and Me is an ET knockoff.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Well, then never mind.
Exactly.
It was also directed by Phil Cunningham, who prior to this also directed the Young David TV miniseries prequel to this film. Yeah. Excuse me. Yeah, there was a TV miniseries prequel to this movie before this movie came out.
Okay.
I didn't know about it until I was doing the research.
Wow. Okay. I'm have to go back and actually watch that and see if it actually does
I mean, it's
fill in
everything.
some of the gaps.
Well, it's not going to be anything that was in the Bible because it all takes place before the anointing.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough.
And it's, from what I can tell, does not, since it's mostly focused on young David, is not going to be Samuel. Any of the stories of Samuel prior to that. So,
Yeah. Who knows?
It was also written by Kyle Portbury and Sam Wilson. And of course, this is based on the books of the 1st and 2nd Samuel found in the Bible, of which we do not know who the biblical author is.
Yeah.
Getting into the cast, we've got Phil Wickham as David. He is a contemporary Christian artist, and this is his first ever acting role.
Yeah.
Because if you do go look at his IMDb, you'll see he's got like something like 15 credits. But with the exception of David, they're all his music videos.
Yes.
I don't count that as acting. I'm sorry.
No, it's partial acting.
Kind of, yeah. It's
Yeah.
performing,
Performing. Oh, go.
but I wouldn't call it acting.
Yeah. Moving right along.
Different set of skills. Brandon Ingman played young David, and in the movie Weathering with You, he played Hadoka Morishima, the main guy.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Miri Masika played Nitzavit, which was his mother.
Mm-hmm.
And she played a character named Talia Rubenstein in something called Zilo Hagil. I think that's an Israeli movie. I could be wrong.
Possibly.
It's a foreign film, I think.
Okay.
Or TV show. It was a TV show now that I remember. Jonathan Shabu played Eliab, the eldest brother of David. And he was in an assortment of small roles. I didn't really see anything that really stuck out.
Okay.
Brian Stivale, who played Samuel in a TV show called Avengers Academy, he played Eddie Brock, aka Venom.
Okay.
Mark Jacobson played Jonathan, and in the video game Spider-Man, the Spider-Man 2, the PlayStation Spider-Man 2, the modern one, not the one based on the movie. He played Street Criminals. Adam Michael Gold played Saul, and in the video game Honkai Star Rail, he played Argenti. And Asim Chaudhry played King Asish, which I believe was the Philistine king.
Yeah.
Yeah. He played Teefs in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3.
Okay.
Have you watched that one yet?
No, I have not.
I'm just going to tell you, he plays the walrus that was of Rocket's childhood friends.
Oh, okay.
It's a very sad set of characters.
Okay.
And I was actually surprised, like, oh, Him. Okay, cool. Kingdom Hearts connections. How many do you think we got, even though you kind of saw? Because I was not done doing them when you got over here.
I wasn't really paying attention
That's
to
fair.
what you were like. I wasn't really focused on what you were doing, but I would say, again, this is a modern movie,
Mhm.
and it's modern because it was put out in last year in 2025. Maybe five.
Five. Okay.
5.
Any other guesses in the chat? Giving y'all 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You actually got it right. It is 5.
Wow. Okay.
We had John Olsen, who was additional voices in this, and he played Lucifer in Kingdom Hearts.
Ironic.
Fred Tatasciore, who had a special thanks in the credits for this,
Oh, okay.
was Kevin Flynn and Clue in Kingdom Hearts.
Oh, okay.
Ashley Bodeker, who was Teen Zariah in this, which I believe was the little sister who was very happy that David got anointed, but as a teenager, not the little kid version.
Okay, got it.
She was also Alette in Kingdom Hearts.
Oh, okay.
Mick Winger played Zadel in this, and he played Lord Cutler Beckett in Kingdom Hearts, which I'm assuming is one of the Pirates of the Caribbean levels.
Okay.
And then Nick Shakur had a special thanks in the credits for this, and was additional voices in Kingdom Hearts. And I'm assuming the reason I included the 2 special thanks in this is I'm assuming their characters were just cut, and they actually did some acting in this, and we don't know who they played. That does happen sometimes. So yeah, info and stuff.
All right. Let's pull that back up. All right. So info and stuff. IMDb has a 6.9 out of 10. Rotten Tomatoes is an 80 by its reviewing score, and its audience score is a 98. That's probably one of the highest audience score numbers I've seen in a while.
Yeah.
You don't see numbers like that quite often.
No, you don't.
You see it. You see them like in the 90s. You don't see them be like that high because apparently the audience loved this film.
Yes.
Streaming is available for Netflix if you have a subscription to Netflix. Physical media, if you want to buy a Blu-ray DVD combo, is $16.99 on Amazon Prime. I don't think it's on sale right now for Amazon Prime Day, which is going on right now, the day of recording.
Today's the last day, I believe.
Yeah, today's the last day. So, past tense. So production was 2521 Entertainments, Slingshot Productions, Sunrise Animation Studios. Distribution for the United States and Canada was Angel Studios. Runtime was 109 minutes. Release date was for December 19th, 2025. Box office had an estimated budget of $60.9 million approximately.
Mm-hmm.
Its opening weekend was December 21st, 2025. For America and Canada was $22 million. Let's see, what did it domestically pull? It pulled $80.3 million, and internationally it pulled $87.8 million. So it did fairly good. Be like, it made a little bit of its budget back. I don't know how much they, spent in promotion, what have you. Remember, they promoted the crow out of this movie. I was very shocked at how much promotion they got.
Yeah.
So again, like I said in the very beginning, the top of the episode, home video release. I couldn't find anything where it was actually when the DVDs, when it was digitally released or what have you. I couldn't find that in a solitary spot. Let's see, yearly ranking for 2025. Where do you think in the theatrical releases of 2025, where does David sit?
Well, in all fairness, before I give my answer, this did come out within 2 weeks of the end of 2025.
It did.
So it really didn't have much time to build up a lot of a lot of ranking. But the fact that you are bringing it up makes me think it has to be like fairly good. Is it in the top 10?
No.
Okay. 15.
A little bit warmer.
20.
Lower.
30.
I'm just gonna say at 35.
Mm.
Like that's not bad for
It's
like
not bad
for
for
the-
what time it had in theaters.
for the top 200 of the year,
yeah.
and it's in the at least the top 20 of the year. That's not a bad place to be for a movie that was only in theaters for 2 weeks before the end of the year.
Mhm.
That's not bad. Let's see. And yeah, that's all I have for info and stuff.
All right, then, getting into the summary. In Bethlehem, David is a young musician who tends his father's, Jesse's, flock of sheep. After protecting the flock from an Asian lion, David is called before the prophet Samuel, who anoints him as the future king of Israel. Samuel leaves when palace guards arrive to retrieve David to play the lyre for King Saul. David soothes Saul, who has become troubled as God has rejected him as king. Saul's alerted when the Philistine army, led by King Achish, have arrived to battle the Israelite army. In the valley of Elah, the Philistines bring forth their champion Goliath, a 9-foot giant. Goliath taunts Saul, his son Jonathan, and the Israelites to summon a worthy challenger. Firm in his faith in God, David decides to challenge Goliath. Saul dresses David in his armor, and they are too oversized for him. Instead, David retrieves smooth stones from a nearby riverbank and challenges Goliath to a fight, in which he kills Goliath, slinging a stone to his forehead. Inspired by David's victory, the Israelites defeat the Philistine army. Years later, David matures into a soldier in Saul's army, forming a strong friendship with Jonathan. Unsettled by David's growing popularity, Saul announces that they will attack the Philistine town of Ziklag, with David leading the charge. When the Israelite army arrives, they find the Philistines have abandoned the town out of fear of the Amalekites. Back in the palace, as David plays his lyre, Saul remembers the incident that made him lose his kingship by disobedience to God for sparing the Amalekites to exploit despite being ordered to slay them. He realizes David is the prophesied king, and feeling betrayed, he throws a spear at David. As David flees for his life, Saul accuses him of attempted murder. When David is cornered, Jonathan fires an arrow at a construction site, knocking down a statue of Saul and helping David escape. Outraged, Saul and his army pursue David, killing those who assist him. David's family flee Bethlehem to escape persecution. He collapses in the desert, but is revived and takes shelter inside a cave. There, David is reunited with his family and other Israelites fleeing Saul. Those inside are told of David's prophecy, but David insists he remains loyal to Saul. Meanwhile, Saul's army approach the cave. Dehydrated, Saul drinks from a waterfall inside. Hidden nearby, David's friends encourage him to kill Saul, but he decides to spare him instead and only cuts a corner of his robe. He reveals himself to Saul and his army, proving that he does not want to take the throne. He and Saul partially reconcile. Hang on, I lost my spot. David's family and their allies can finally... Hang on, I got to mark that so I can... Okay.
You're good.
David's family and their allies can finally come out of hiding and camp in the abandoned town of Ziklag. Before long, the Philistines return to challenge the Israelites. David, his brother Eliab, and their warriors infiltrate the Philistine ranks to assist Saul and the Israelites. On the battlefield, they see smoke rising from Ziklag and realize that their families are under attack. As Saul and Jonathan are killed by the Philistines, David and his warriors rush home to find that their families have been taken by the
Amalekites.
them.
Amalekites.
The others blame David. I was doing so good with that word until just then.
You were.
Faithful in God's deliverance, David approaches the Amalekites unarmed and is taken prisoner. As the Amalekite chieftain prepares to execute him, David begins to sing that he is unafraid, giving the Israelites the confidence to join in. His warriors arrive on the battlefield and liberate the Israelites. David recovers from the attempted execution shortly after, and the Israelites recognize him as their new king. To answer your question, Artsy Steph, we'll get to that.
Hold on. Is the waterfall a joke since Saul was, peeing.
Yes.
Yes.
He was relieving himself.
Yeah, he was relieving himself
in the Bible, but we'll get to that. We'll get to that.
Based on interpretation or what have you.
Getting into the trivia. This movie was scheduled originally for November 21st, 2025 to be distributed by Angel Studios. However, in October 2024, Slingshot Pictures terminated its distribution agreement with Angel, citing multiple alleged incurable contract breaches. Slingshot filed a lawsuit against Angel in March 2025, seeking a new distributor for David. Eventually, in October 2025, Angel got the film rights back in partnership with 2521 Entertainment, this time scheduling it for a December 19th, 2025 release. And that is literally all the trivia I could get.
Wow.
There's not much out there other than this was Phil Wickham's first movie. Fair enough. Jacob, what are your thoughts on this film?
What are my thoughts?
Your first
my first likes on this film. Let me scroll to it because, again, like Drew just said, there's not a lot of information on this movie for some reason.
And it's not just because it just came out either.
Yeah, exactly. There's just not a lot of stuff that came out during production. Let's see. Anyways, gorgeous animation, including design. I'm watching this and it's like, wow.
Mm-hmm.
Again, this reminds me of Pixar. This reminds me of Disney animation styles. It is animated gorgeously. The backgrounds are lusciously done. Just animation wise, it's done incredibly well. With how characters move and the point where David is winding up his slingshot, you get that great camera pan into it. It's beautifully well done. I really enjoy the animation. Again, there are some little animation flaws here and there, but overall, animation wise, it's gorgeous. It's a gorgeous, gorgeous little film. What is your first like?
I'm going to jump off that because the animation is also going to be my first like. Although I would say it reminds me more of, especially art style wise, of the early 3D DreamWorks stuff. Not necessarily Shrek.
Yeah.
But things like
more sense DreamWorks.
But things like Madagascar.
Yeah.
What I call the carved hair.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of what feels like very wooden hair, and like in a lot of these designs, or kind of like with Dave and some of the others, it's almost a helmet hair. It doesn't have a lot of movement, but then you get then you get characters like Samuel with the big beard that comes out at a 90-degree angle before it goes down again. You're going,
juts out.
And it doesn't really seem to move with the wind or anything else around it, and that's not a bad thing.
No, David's hair moves.
It's a style. I mean, I like Star Wars: Clone Wars has the same kind of thing to it, and it works for that.
Right.
But the animation here is done very well. The coloring of backgrounds, you really do get a feel for everything. There is a little bit of what I think you called it Americanism.
There's a little bit
to the models, and I'm sure you want to talk about that a little later on.
Well, it's not to the models. It's how they talk.
Well, you're thinking how they talk.
Their dialogue is very much Americanized.
I'm noting that while they do at least have darker skin, it's not exactly Middle Eastern skin. You know what I mean? I mean, what I'm trying to say is there is a lot of Caucasian in these character designs.
Okay, I see your point a little bit here and there, but I do see where they're going with it.
I do too, and I'm not really knocking it for this. It's just there's like the one oddity of the animation that kind of stands out is the character designs.
Oh, I'll get there later.
There's a couple other things, but
I love the design.
Oh yeah, I'm
except for one character design. Everything else was like, that's gorgeous. That's
I'm not hating on the designs.
Yeah.
But the art is done very well. So yeah, I'm using the artwork as my first like as well. Yeah. What is your second like?
My second like, the way I described it as the depiction of Saul's affliction. The way I described it, it's fear of the Amorites, whatever.
The people that Saul was told to take out and didn't.
Yeah, exactly. It's not simply a demon. Not everything's a demon.
Yeah.
Which
He was troubled.
he was troubled. His soul was troubled. The fact to be like that Samuel had said, be like, well, I'm gonna anoint somebody else because you didn't listen to me. Be like, you have disavowed your anointedness. And I love that he's so troubled by that. He's so troubled by what happened with the Ammonites. And I just love it because everybody I've ever talked to, God allowed a demon to possess him or something like. He's probably just troubled by things. He's probably got something in his head. And I love how it's David that comes in and soothes again. He sings and be like, he's supposed to be playing the lyre, not singing, but be like, when you got David Wickham, that's what you do,
except
right?
this one, Phil Wickham in this scene,
Phil
but
Wickham, whichever.
I mean, he doesn't come up till after Goliath.
Right. But overall, be like, it's a singing movie. Your characters are going to sing. But I did love the songs because there's a lot of it. It's all based in Psalms. Get it? Because
yes.
according to
well, David did write a good portion of the Psalms.
David did write, in air quotes, he did write a lot of them.
What do you mean in air quotes?
Well, in air quotes. Well, let me explain historically first.
I was about to say, because to my knowledge, he is considered the author.
Yes. What I am saying, the fact to be like, he probably dictated to somebody and they wrote it down for him.
That's fair.
Yeah, that's all I'm saying. I'm not saying that David actually didn't say this stuff. All I am saying is most likely he was a king. He probably didn't know how to write, but he knew how to speak.
It was ghostwritten.
It was ghostwritten. Yeah.
That's all you're saying.
It was a credit to David. But overall, I really enjoyed the depiction of King Saul. I love that he was a man who's deeply troubled, that he was paranoid, that he was afraid of everything. And the fact to be like, David's getting all the attention and be like, he's a smart man. Be like, that's one of the reasons they made him king in the first place, which is not depicted in this film. But overall, I thought the depiction of his ailment, of his paranoia, his fear, the fact to be like, he's so afraid of this one Amorite character. Be like, again, I love the Amorite design. It's all this very like horns and kind of, I don't know where the design aspects coming from, but I love it. But
it does have a very tribal feel to it.
Yeah, it's got a very, very tribal look to it. I love it. I was like, oh my gosh, can I borrow some of from a design for somewhere? But again, I love the design of this movie. It's really well done. And again, be like, King Saul's ailment is done very well. And again, it's not simply he's possessed by a demon. And I'd be like, I don't like that explanation for half of everything nowadays. But overall, I really enjoyed the depiction of King Saul. What is your second like?
I like the humorous elements they put in this.
It's it's funny.
I can understand it with some things how it's like, well, that's not exactly how it happened. And I'm like, okay, first off, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
Bible's a great book. 66 great pieces of literature.
Right.
It's not necessarily written for entertainment purposes.
No, instruction.
And in a lot of cases, especially when you're looking at Samuel, you are looking at the chronicles of history that were meant to inform, not necessarily to entertain.
Right.
Very much almost there's stuff recorded there that's interesting, but I mean, it's not like you're reading a novel.
Right.
So the fact that you get this whole bit where Saul, Samuel anoints David.
Yeah.
And he says, and someone says, don't worry, he'll never find out about your gift. And then someone bangs on the door. One of the guards says, we're looking for David. We've heard about his gift and Saul needs him. Saul wants to see him. It's like, okay, that's funny.
That was funny.
I could see how that might happen. At the same time, there is a lot of time dilation.
Yes, there is.
In this, but then the Bible doesn't exactly say how long it is between some events.
That is true.
But then you get like the whole bit with the armor, which is at least based on biblical. But they did it funny where it's like he's like sitting in between all, because the character design for Saul is so much bigger than David as a kid. He can't even, it's not that he can't lift it.
He's just too small.
He's just too small for it to fit. Now, granted, when you actually look at what's going on in the Bible, Saul, David's a little bit bigger than this at this point.
Yeah,
because they have, like I said, they did do time crunch this a little bit to work as a film. This makes it look like it seems like David went from being anointed to taking out Goliath in less than a month. I don't think that's how that went.
No, because I think in this movie, this particular adaptation, they make David to be more like he's like 12 or 10 years old.
Yeah,
like he's a young boy
until after the time skip.
Yeah, until the time skip. Then he's an adult.
He's an adult.
Yeah.
But I thought I enjoyed that little bit of laughter, and let's face it, your thoughts on the Philistines and Goliath himself, I'm sure, are going to be really great when we get to them. But
no.
All right.
That has nothing to do with the Philistines itself.
Okay.
All it has to do is with Goliath. That's
Goliath himself. But I have to say, the way they handled the David taking out Goliath,
yes,
that was like, okay, that was great.
That was good.
That was
agreed.
Great. Granted, I'm sitting there going, now, if you actually know how the story in the Bible turns out, I will be surprised if they are accurate, since this is meant to be a movie for kids.
Yeah.
No, he just gets taken out by the stone. He doesn't get beheaded like he is in the Bible. But I liked the big lead up to it where the Philistine king says all this stuff about, it's not really fair that my army and your army fight. Let's just do one-on-one. You're our best man against your best man. And Saul agrees and calls out, and the guy whistles, and this big guy comes out.
Yes.
It's a big guy.
The armor bearer.
And he says, oh, that's your big guy? That's not too bad. He says, no. That's his armor bearer. And then
Here he
comes going. It's like,
thump,
run. How
thump.
big is this guy? Okay, he's 9 foot tall, which is still big, but very muscular. So it's like, okay, that was funny how they handled it. They did.
Yes.
There's some great humorous moments that are
agreed,
totally understandable. How, it's it is a bit of a creative liberty, but it fits with the events because of my third like, which we'll get to after Jacob's third like.
So my third like, I enjoyed the story itself. I enjoyed where they do take a little bit of creative liberty with the story a little bit here and there. A lot of that later on. We'll get to that later at the very end of the movie. But I think overall the story is very well done. It's a young man, kind of coming into his own, and he's thrust in the situation he really doesn't want to be into, and he steps into it like a champ and is able to traverse it as well as one can with the anointing of God and God at his side. And again, be like, I think the songs are done very well. That again, it's Phil Wickham. Be like, if you have heard of Phil Wickham, if you're a fan of Phil Wickham, you're going to enjoy all the music because he wrote it all, I think, for the most part. But,
he at least performed most of it. I haven't done my due diligence and looked at who handled the music.
Yeah, haven't yet. But either I did enjoy the story. I did enjoy the conflict. I did enjoy the family dynamic. David's brothers, I was like, okay, why are half of them all nitwits and they're like, dunces, and then like they're all the others are meatheads. But I'd be like the mother, like his mother and David's relationship, I thought was very well done. I don't think that's biblical. I could be wrong. But overall, I did enjoy where it is his mother is encouraging him the entire time. Be like, oh, you're special. You've been anointed by God. And again, be like, he doesn't like it to his head. Be like the entire time. Be like, he's very humble about it. and he's again be like the third act where he does basically walk in alone to the not Amorites, but
The Philistines or the Amalekites?
Amalekites. Yeah,
However you say that.
yeah, Amalekites, whatever. If we're mistaking it, say it in the chat or whatever. But
don't expect us to be able to correct it because that's a hard word to say.
It is a hard word to say. But I did enjoy the way they kind of made David kind of a Christ-like character. He's willing to sacrifice his life in order to save his family and to save his friends. Again, is it biblically accurate? No, it's not. But I did.
Knowledge. But
I've read.
No,
it's not right.
That's not how that last Battle of Saul's
goes. No, it doesn't.
You are correct there. Sorry.
Yeah,
but that's because they had to come up with an ending for the story that included David not being there at the last battle.
Right.
That's Saul and Jonathan's last battle.
Right.
So,
but yeah, we'll get there when we get there. But I did enjoy that I did enjoy the story aspect of it, and I was like, okay, that's pretty cool. They tried to pull in more of like a Christ sacrificial moment where he's willing to lay down his life for his family and his friends. And I thought, okay, that was touching. That was really cool. And we'll get to later on dislikes about that scene. But overall, I thought the movie was really well done. I really don't have a gripe that it was a bad movie at all. It was a really, really well done movie. What is your third like?
My third like is the inclusion of the little details.
Okay.
That they could have easily left out.
Oh, okay.
But when certain bits of dialogue required it, they didn't just make something up that was not in the Bible. They actually included biblical information. Like there's that part where Saul does not realize, because Saul at this point doesn't realize David is the next anointed king, but it's in the adult section.
Yeah.
And talking about how weird life is. And Saul says, yeah, one day you're just tending your father's donkeys and the next thing you're king.
Yeah.
Well, if you actually go back to the book of Samuel, that is how he was just tending the donkeys when they said, oh yeah, you're the next king.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, okay. That's actually how that happened.
Just so like David, except he was tending sheep.
So it's one little snippet of dialogue.
Yeah.
Didn't have to be included. No. But because they needed a way for those two characters to connect, they actually go in and bring in the biblical detail.
Yeah.
That would make sense there. Other little things. I also liked when they showed David fighting the lion at the very beginning of the film.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they don't, it being a kid's film,
mm-hmm.
David does not kill the lion.
Of course.
He does knock him off a cliff, and we see the lion get stuck between the cliff wall and another rock.
Mm-hmm.
And they could have left it there, and I don't think anyone would have complained.
No.
But they go ahead and have David save the cat.
Yeah, because they want to show that David's compassionate.
Right, they want to show David's compassionate. But I mean, that's a storytelling thing. It's like, if you really want to show a character is a hero, you have them, as the saying goes, save the cat.
Yeah.
It's more usually referring to the guy, the superhero getting the cat out of the tree.
Yeah.
But in this case, he saved the lion from dying of starvation in the wilderness.
Yeah.
By letting it leave. And then the lion doesn't come and attack him again.
Between a rock and a hard place.
You could say. But I liked these little bitty details here and there. I liked the fact that his little sister during that whole bit when he's being anointed is like, if you're a king, then that makes me a princess.
Oh my god.
It's like that's
cute.
Totally realistic.
It was.
How that conversation, and then they open the door and the guard is looking for David, says, well, Princess Zarilla or whatever her name was. It's like, okay, yeah, that's still how that would have gone down. Moving on. Pray the guards don't think too highly of what the little girl is saying in this moment.
It's very much an Americanized kind of version of this.
This is a movie made for kids, having a couple of little fun bits.
Oh yeah,
in there you're going to need, because if you say too serious, it's not going to be. And the fact of the matter is, this is a war movie.
Yeah,
they actually do a lot of war things, especially near the in the last half.
Oh,
of,
yeah.
of battles here and there.
Oh yeah.
That they didn't. That you don't normally think of, especially in this modern day and age
Mhm.
of it being in a kids movie, and yet they do that.
Mhm.
Not because it's in the story.
Right.
Because admittedly, here's the thing: when I heard they were making a film about King David,
Mhm.
or it wasn't King David, it was David.
Mhm.
I thought it's going to be David and Goliath, and that's going to be it.
A lot of them do that. Where it's
And
Just
that
that,
is
they
is
become king,
included in
boom,
here,
done.
but it's done in like the first quarter of the film. No, let's say first half.
first half.
First half of the film, and then the rest of it is like the rest of the story before David actually becomes king, and it ends before he when he gets during his coronation, basically, which is a good thing, because if they'd gone too much farther than that, it definitely wouldn't be a kids movie.
No,
'Cause,
absolutely not.
Bathsheba's not too far away,
No, thankfully they didn't touch that.
or all of David's wives.
David's wives
And
yeah,
although Solomon had it worse, but either way, in terms of how many wives and concubines he had.
True.
But there's a lot of things that if they had gone into that part would not have made for a good film for kids.
Very true.
So I liked all the little details that made it that weren't necessarily the details they included from the biblical narrative that weren't necessarily said in those moments,
Mhm.
but did help to make the characters feel more three-dimensional. And the fact that the little bits here and there of the other things that just made these characters feel three-dimensional and not so tied to the biblical narrative that the characters have no depth.
True.
And that is something a lot of biblical stories, that's a trap that a lot of biblical stories fall into, because they're staying so close.
Mhm.
The ones that are trying to be accurate to the Bible, they stay so close that none of the characters feel human. These characters, they're exaggerated human, but they're
Yeah.
humans.
Yeah.
It does feel like they're fully three-dimensional characters, and I appreciate that.
Fair enough.
What's your first dislike?
Mine? Okay.
No, you don't have to do Goliath if you want to do something else first.
My first dislike, and this was my first reaction to this
Mhm.
in a way. Be like, I fleshed it out later on, but this is my response. Albino Goliath. What? Did they import this guy from Germany?
Israelites, I will break you.
It's Russian, but still.
Well, whatever.
But it was like, oh my! When you first be like, you see his feet, and it's like, okay, maybe it's just the sun. It's like, no, this guy's glistening off every surface. I'm like, why is he so pasty white? Oh my gosh! Like I know people and love people who are
Mhm.
very, very white. This guy makes them look like they're just slightly tan. This guy, oh my gosh, what drove these people to do? And plus, he has blonde hair. People, he has blonde hair. Like, what in the world's going on? This guy's supposed to be from that region. Like, he's supposed to be this big giant of a man. But at the same time, I'm like, why is he so pasty white? That makes no sense. And his design, don't get me started on this design. Oh my gosh, they make him such a huge barrel-chested dude. And like, so when you're designing a big barrel-chested guy, you kind of have the portion right? Nope. He's lanky and he has this super thin waist. Makes no sense design-wise for a character. Be like, have you ever seen the Hulk? Design-wise?
Well, I get it.
Yeah, he's got a big, bulky frame, but like his waist fits with it. He's got this skinny little frame that goes boop, hips, and then his legs are all just wonky. Just like, be like, I understand you want to make him kind of goofy looking, but design-wise, like, this is horrible.
No, you don't want to make him goofy looking. They
Yeah.
should have tried to make him goofy looking. This
Yeah.
guy is meant to be scary.
Yeah, make him
if
look
you're
like
go-
the
if-
Hulk, but bigger.
If you are going to have this pasty white German-esque design, make him Arnold Schwarzenegger. 9 foot tall Arnold Schwarzenegger. Not exactly, of course, but
yeah,
That's the look you need to be going for. Not whatever this was. This was like, we took the standard model design that we did for all the rest of the Philistines, but increased the scale. Don't do that.
Yes.
That's not how this works. Not just Philistines, the normal humans in this. It's like, because a lot of the Philistine, model-wise, a lot of the Philistines and the Israelites really looked like they were the same models.
Oh yeah, a lot of them. But it was just more like, to me, design wise.
Mhm.
If it was me, if I was designing Goliath, because again, it's a kid's movie. You want to make him look funny in a way, but again, this guy's supposed to be terrifying. Like, he's supposed to be terrifying the Israelites.
This is
Everybody's scared of, including King Saul.
Yeah.
And his son, who's supposed to be like the bravest man ever. And again, David's not afraid of him because, you know, God's on his side.
Right.
But at the same time, I'm like, oh my gosh, why are you going to make him look so goofy? I understand, like, it's part of the design, how they design characters, but just make him look menacing.
He should be
It's not
menacing
where he
because
just snarls and it looks like he's on a half grin.
he should be menacing because for this moment, for the story of David and Goliath, Goliath is the villain.
Yes.
You have to make your villain very terrifying so that when your hero overcomes him, they look better.
Yeah.
Now, granted, David is, if you know anything about how this actually goes on, David is not it wasn't a lucky shot. God is still the hero of that story. But at the same time, and because all David had to do was be there and throw the rock. It's God who made sure the rock went where it needed to go. But this is a moment that, among those who are more worldly, is supposed to make it's supposed to be David's first step into stardom. Like, this is the moment where everyone knows everyone in Israel learns who this guy is. It's here where his legend as the great conquering hero starts.
Yeah.
And they really, and then you put him up against Goliath, who is like, look, the Blob from X-Men the Animated Series is more terrifying than this guy.
Yeah.
Okay?
Fair.
I don't want the Blob for this. I want Juggernaut.
I'm the Juggernaut.
I wasn't going to say that.
I knew you weren't.
But that's really how this should be going.
Ironically, who he's talking to in that film.
And
Just saying.
I know. Anyway.
Anyways,
my first dislike.
Go ahead.
It's a musical.
Okay.
First off, I don't hate musicals, as you know.
Fair.
But musicals live and die by the type of music chosen for it. I don't hate contemporary Christian music. It's just not what I listen to casually.
Fair.
And I will say this, it is very that coded. Now, granted, this is a Christian film. They hired Phil Wickham to voice David, and I did look it up. Phil Wickham only wrote the credits song.
Oh,
he did not write the other songs. But the other songs do sound like Phil Wickham songs.
Oh, okay.
So I'm not surprised. And it's just not my style. And to be honest, I felt like a lot of times when the musical moments happened in this, they didn't add to the story. It was more like, oh, this is an animated movie because all of Disney's animated movies were musicals. We've got to do that with this. I mean, do you realize how lucky we are there wasn't a dance party at the end of this?
Oh, you're not kidding.
Because this was trying to play into all of the children's movies tropes.
True.
And then just putting a Christian sheen on it. I'm not saying the Christian sheen was not well done. Don't get me wrong. It's not really a sheen, but it's still, in terms of how it's made, it's still very much we're making a Disney film. And because Disney films are animated musicals, despite the fact they haven't really all been animated musicals since the late 1990s.
Right.
We've got to make this one. And because we're Christian, we're going to, of course, hire Christian artists. I'm not even knocking the hired Christian artists for this. Don't get me wrong. But I'm still sitting there going, this doesn't need to be a musical, because most of these songs interrupt and don't add anything. In fact, at the very beginning, the second song where David is playing to Saul, it actually detracts from the moment, because because the biblical account is not only did David not sing, he only played the lyre. David didn't have a backup band.
That is true. He didn't.
The entire audition string, which I don't think that was in there either, but I can let that go for the comedic moment of and the drama of that moment. I can let that go. But they should have not come in and helped play along just because everything was all happy and joyful. That's not how this works. If that was how it works, Saul would have just had a concert going on in there, and maybe David played the solo. But that's not how it's ever portrayed. It's not how it's portrayed in this film. It's not how it's written. But at the same time, the musical section starts and the entire throne room is filled with people who I'm just going, why are y'all here? You're actually making this worse for David. You're making David look worse, because this is not how this goes. You're actually taking away from the fact that it was David who played for him that soothed him, because David, being the next king, was actually still supporting the current king.
True.
And this movie did not need to be a musical, and I feel like the musical aspects of it were shoehorned in. That's really my first dislike. It's the shoehorned in-ness of the musical elements.
Got it.
What's your second dislike?
My second dislike, again, this is more nitpicky. It's more biblical nerd kind of stuff. Like, you go into like the nuances of the story. You go into the first half. I don't really have a problem with. I'd be like the fact I don't think his brothers are mentioned. His sister is mentioned, but later on.
I mean, they mention that he has brothers.
He does have brothers,
because
I don't think they're ever named, though.
They didn't name them. I know Saul looked at each one of them and said, "This is not he." And then the next one, until they went through all of them. Yeah, Samuel. Sorry, I don't know why I keep saying Saul for Samuel.
Fine. I do that all the time. No worries.
But yeah, I know that's mentioned in the Bible,
right?
But they never gave him names. Now, granted, you're telling a story.
Right.
You can't just have people remain nameless.
Right. Because you want characters to be relatable. You want to use them over and over again, because they do that in this film, which I get why.
They make the characters three-dimensional.
Because, again, if you look through the biblical narrative, they're really not.
Not the way they're written.
Not the way they're written, because again, it's supposed to be like an historical account.
It's an historical account.
But
and I'm not saying, I keep using the term characters in this. These were real people that was written about. So don't read too much into my use of the word characters.
Right. But like there's little points here, there's little points here where it's like, well, be like, you could have done this. Be like, you got your Bible out, and it's like, well, you could have done this, you could have done this. Be like, but again, you don't be like, it's like Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince. Not Half-Blood Prince, but Order of the Phoenix. Be like probably the longest book of the Harry Potter franchise. And you have people that want every detail of this book in there. Again, you would have a 5-hour movie broken up into like 4 or 5 movies.
You realize there are people salivating about that prospect as you say that.
Oh yeah, I know. They've got a series coming out probably another 5 or 6 years.
I mean, you could say the same thing about Lord of the Rings too.
Fair.
Can you imagine a text for text accurate retelling of Lord of the Rings? It would be 24 hours long.
It'd be, yeah. But the what I'm getting at is, like, I understand why they did what they did. I completely understand, because you want to streamline your story. You want to be like, not cut the filler out, but you want to leave enough in where it maintains what the narrative is trying to tell you. But be like, again, the little biblical nerd in me is like, oh my gosh, if they would have had one line that was like, oh yeah, King Saul took this many of some object, but David took 1,000 of this certain object. because again, it's a family-friendly show.
You
don't want
can't
to say
use the word kill.
no. I'm not saying kill. I'm saying kind of take the for something off.
Oh, you're referring to that moment.
Yes.
I thought you were
Yes.
referring to the chant of Saul has his thousands and David his 10,000s.
Yeah.
I thought that was the part you were referring to.
No. That's what I was referring to, was the taking of the four.
Yeah,
you know,
that
line.
thing. Yeah.
That.
I get what you're saying now. Sorry.
Yeah, that would have been like maybe it implied. It was like, oh yeah, David took so many of this, and King Saul only got this, and everybody, because again, it builds that animosity. Word I'm looking for.
Well, now that you've said it, I can't.
Can't say it either, but I get it. But the,
Animosity.
Yeah, it's animosity towards David, and it just gets worse and worse and worse and worse. The point where I just read it just a minute ago, where the fact that it wasn't like King Saul just threw him out and be like you tried to kill me. He does say it later,
Mhm.
but it was actually Jonathan who told him to flee. Where in the movie, it's just more David runs for his life, kind of like Joseph, in Genesis.
Mhm.
But I get it. I enjoy the streamline of it. The point where the priest is killed because he does help David. That scene for me, I was like, but that's in a different place, and be like, it's not even in the city. And David be like, yeah, he gets a sword because he lied. But nuance, either or. But that story, that little part of the story always kind of bothered me. I'm like, wait a minute. Be like, you like little tangent here. The fact that like King David, who wasn't king yet, was on the run from King Saul. He goes to a temple or whatever. He goes to a temple, and he runs into the priest. The priest is named in the text. And David lies that says, I'm on a mission from King Saul in order to be like, I am supposed to retrieve the sword of Goliath or something like that. But we are hungry. We are this. Be like, can you give us any food? And he's like, no, all I have is the offerings. And be like, oh, that's fine, because the king said this. The king told me to do this. Okay, yeah, perfectly fine. Lies his way through it. And King Saul's men come through. What happened? He explains what happened. That David said this, and be like, poor man gets executed for it. Sorry, little tangent there. I've always had a little more of an issue with that, because David just kind of lies through his teeth and gets a man killed. All right, nuance, but overall, I'd be like, there's again, it's a biblical nerd thing. Be like, you're just being nerdy about this, but this would have been the coolest, this and this and this, or the point where RC Step earlier spoke of in the chat about King Saul going into the cave to relieve himself. Well, in the movie, it's about like giving himself some rest. And in the biblical narrative, he's actually going to relieve himself.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, I understand why they didn't do that, but the waterfall scene was actually kind of funny from a biblical narrative. That was funny.
But here's the thing.
But I enjoy what they did.
Here's the thing on that.
Right.
Though. If that had been actually DreamWorks or some other regular, I say regular, but big animation house.
Yeah.
They'd have done the pee joke.
Oh,
you wouldn't have seen him doing it. You would have just maybe heard water hitting the ground, and that would have been it. But because this is Angel Studios and we're selling to Christians, we can't have a bathroom joke.
No.
Except it's not a bathroom joke. It's actually what happened. It's life.
It happens. But I get why they made these decisions. You're streamlining your story, your narrative, in order to make it more cohesive, make it more palatable towards a broader audience. And I think that broader perspective of writing actually did the movie a service. But at the same time, as a nerd, it's more like, oh my gosh, they could have done this, but obviously they didn't. So yeah, it's my second dislike.
My second dislike for this film is and I just lost it. I'm sorry. Just went out my head into the ether.
You had pooped out.
I was going to make a different joke, but I'm not going there.
Anyways.
Yeah, my second dislike for this is it's the ending of the film.
Okay.
All the rest of this is so interesting in how they handled it.
Yeah.
But the last battle between that of Saul and Jonathan, let me back up. Hang on. I jumped the gun on what my second dislike was because I just remembered what my original one was.
Go for it.
My second dislike for this film is how they handled Jonathan.
Okay.
Because here's the thing. I don't think Jonathan is even mentioned during David and Goliath. I could be wrong there.
No, I mean, like I think he is mentioned.
He might be mentioned. It's like, but you don't really get into who he is. I don't think. But either way, they pretty much, in order to help us see why he and David are going to be good friends, and in establishing his character, Jonathan's already saying, "Oh, we can stand up to this guy because we have God on our side," and he already has the faith of to believe that God's going to carry him through there. Why then does he not betray? Not betray, but why does he then not go out there and do like David's going to do later? They don't even acknowledge that he was, when all this started, that he was ready just to go out there and take on Goliath right then and there.
Exactly.
Other than because they mention it, but I mean, like after that scene, Jonathan's just there hanging out, and maybe seeing David for the first time, getting to like him, and maybe that's how they're trying to show how that's how the friendship started. But at the same time, it's like, Jonathan, if you really have feelings as strong as David has about how you can take down Goliath the way you're speaking like you do, why don't you go? He can't, obviously, because that's not what happens.
Right.
But they make Jonathan so much of a David Jr., for lack of a better term.
In some ways, and he's a lot older than David.
Older. I say junior, but I mean a mirror.
Yeah, he's a mirror of David.
Like you can see, they're trying to show why they get along.
Yeah.
But you don't really see Jonathan having to deal with the fact that David and his father are even really against each other for a lot of this. Jonathan's got that bad part where he's loyal to his dad. Right. He has to be loyal to the king, his father, but he's also loyal to David. And there's not really, it's like there's hints that something like that's going on, but they don't really show it. It's like they want to have, they're trying to hit on this topic of David and Jonathan are good friends. They don't even really show David and Jonathan doing a lot together. Not really. I could be misremembering, admittedly.
Well, there is the scene where I think it's when we first see David as an adult, and they're building this, and you can see the camaraderie between the two, and they have this little number they do with each other,
right? And you do have
the handshakes and everything like that. And they're bros.
And when David is having to run, it is Jonathan that does that takes out Saul's statue so that it falls over and allows David to flee.
Yeah, exactly.
But Jonathan I don't really feel like he's really explored as a character, because he's a fairly important character in all these events in the Bible. And I know you've got he and David are really going to be able to interact in the last half.
Yeah.
You don't really have time to really go into it, especially since you're going to do this whole other thing. And I know technically, I don't think they even show him and Saul dying in that last battle.
Well, they do, actually.
They do. That's my problem here, is that once we get to them and hiding in Ziklag,
You tuned out.
I tuned out. I'm sorry.
That's fair.
And so there's like parts of this I remember, and parts it's like, did they do this? It doesn't really feel like it stood out. I just didn't feel like David and Jonathan. It didn't really feel like Jonathan's character was really fleshed out much.
Oh, agree. He wasn't.
And
He
that's
wasn't
probably
really.
more my issue.
I do agree to an extent. I do just for more clarification, at the battle where David and his men have disguised themselves as
Philistines.
as
And
Philistines.
And Jonathan does recognize David in that.
Yeah, exactly. And be like, when the attack comes, we do see
Mhm.
Jonathan get bombarded by men. He is
Yeah.
covered over, and it's narrative wise that he is killed in the battle.
Yeah, they're not going to show
They're not
him
gonna
and
show
Saul
it 'cause-
dying in that.
No, because you
Especially
do,
the way Saul actually goes out.
yeah, because you do see David's reaction to it. He is horrified. He's mortified by it, and he's still being pulled away to be like, oh, we can go back. We can go back to our families, what have you. But yeah, I do agree. The character of Jonathan isn't really fleshed out that much. There again, your main focus has to be David
Yeah, I get
and
that.
his conflict with Saul. But overall, I do agree. I do agree.
What's your third dislike?
My third dislike. Okay, so this is where I did mention this in my likes, but it needs to be said. The final battle or the final confrontation with the Amorites is completely fiction. What
Mhm.
actually happened?
It's not there.
No, it's not there in the biblical narrative whatsoever. The fact to be like David does go confront the Amorites for taking his two wives and their children,
Mhm.
and because his men are worried, that kind of thing. There was no they're running from a battle. No, this was
Yeah.
more they were really like they saw what was going on, and literally be like David comes in and they just slaughter him, leaves no man behind.
Yeah, David's family was not hiding in Ziklag.
No, they
They weren't even on the run as far as we know.
they were kidnapped. They
Yeah.
were kidnapped. Be like every woman and child were kidnapped. All the men were slain who were left, and they kidnapped them. That's what happened biblically. Be like, it happens in the movie to an extent, but the whole fact that David comes unarmed and he literally is going to willingly sacrifice his life in order to try to save his family, that is a completely fictional. Be like, it's a good story beat trying to make David more of a Christ-like figure. He's willing to lay down his life for his family. I get that. It's not in the story. It's not in the biblical narrative. Be like, I read that last night and it was like, oh, that makes sense, because that makes no be like because if that was the biblical narrative, be like, okay, that would have been cool. I would have remembered that, but it's not in the story. It's not there. And the whole thing of like the way that King David learns about Saul's death and Jonathan's death is literally they have an Amorite who turns coat and says that in the biblical narrative, it says that King Saul saw that the battle was lost and told his honor guard to kill him, but the honor guard couldn't, so he fell upon his sword. And then the story that David is told is that this Amorite scout came upon King Saul, who fell upon his spear, but he wasn't dead yet. So he took him out in mercy, and then David killed the guy for telling him this information. Yeah, that's it. There was no David is he's going to be the sacrificial lamb just to save his family, and then people rise against the Amorites and they are victorious and David's knocked out and they find out he's king. Be like, it's a good story, but biblically it's not there. So I watched it. I was like, okay, that's cool. That's a cool story narrative. I know it's not there because I remember reading this. This was not there. I had to go back and reread it. So yeah, that's my third dislike is how this movie wraps up. Be like, it's not biblically accurate at all. It's a good story. Do not get me wrong.
Mhm.
It is a very good story. It's just not biblically accurate. And some people was like, who cares if it's not biblically accurate anyway? It's just a fairy tale.
It's
But
not.
to some people, be like, okay, that's to you. You may believe it's a fairy tale, but those who believe it, it is true.
And
So-
here's the other thing. Even if it were a fairy tale, which I think we both agree, it's not. here's the thing: you still should be trying to be accurate to the point,
Yeah.
and it's kind of is, but it's very much a fully fictionalized ending.
Right.
And I honestly, I think that going into my third dislike,
Mm.
I think that's why I checked out, like
Mm.
at the 3/4 mark,
Okay.
because the minute they are hiding out in Ziklag, and they are hiding in Ziklag, they're not been captured. I'm
No.
talking about in the movie.
Yeah.
In the book, in the actual story, his family was captured.
Yeah. Exactly.
But in the movie, they're hiding there, and David and a couple other of his men go pretend to be Philistines so that they can help the Israelites by being behind the enemy lines and taking them out from the other end, kind of in a pincer maneuver.
Yeah.
That's not what happened.
No, it didn't.
And even though it's been a while since I've read this part, and my memory is a little foggy about what happened in this part of Samuel, I think there's a part of me that is like, this is so not what happened that it doesn't even make sense to me. And I'm disengaged now. It's like the fact that we had so many other elements that were accurate. Yes, creative liberties taken in order to help adapt it into a central cohesive story instead of the 9 or 10 individual tales that as they're recorded in Samuel that tell the history. But to tell one cohesive 2-hour story, there were creative liberties taken to make it an entertaining story and to make it more available for kids.
Sure.
And then you get to the last quarter. Really about the time that you have the where Saul cuts the robe in the or David cuts Saul's robe in the cave. From that point to the end, I was checked out because at that point the story just kind of went
Okay.
because I knew it wasn't what happened.
True.
It was them trying to say we've got to finish the story in a way that makes sense, and if we have to break away from the biblical narrative to do it, we're going to.
Right.
And I'm looking at it going, but that's not what happened. And the reason you're doing this makes no sense.
That's true.
And I'm not just talking about why the writers are doing it. I kind
Right.
of understand why the writers do it.
Right.
But the right at that point, this goes from being an adaptation of real life events that we admittedly mostly know from biblical sources to, like you said, completely fictionalized. And then, but the thing is, the events don't make sense why the characters would make those decisions. Oh yeah, sure, we'll hide in Ziklag because Saul won't look for him there. That's Amalekite territory. Is it Amalekite territory?
Amalek.
Yeah. Here's an idea. No, because you don't know where they are. And you hinted that these were in there, and they're kind of just. You hinted that the Amalekites were going to be the real problem, and the last battle's still between the Philistines and the Israelites. The Amalekites, they're just kind of like the boogeymen that shows up every once in a while because Saul didn't kill the leader when he was supposed to.
Right.
Which they don't actually explain that's why David was anointed over Saul, anointed king after Saul, was because Saul did not take out all the Amalekites like he was told to. The last quarter of this film, it's just like we got to wrap up, and we're going to do the best. We're going to try and make this an interesting story and give David his hero moment, and at the same time, we're going to tie him up to this frame so that it looks just like Jesus tied to the cross. Gee, are we starting to ram this, hit people over the head with the biblical, with the Christ analog here? The Christ analogy?
A little bit.
It's like, this is not what happened. And it makes no sense why. And then you get the whole stupid, but I call it the I am Spartacus thing, because it's basically like in the movie where everyone shows, oh, I am Spartacus. So no one knows who actually Spartacus is.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, if David's showing he's a good leader because he's not afraid. So now we're not afraid. And we're not afraid. And of course, the kids have to be the ones who lead it because it's a kids film. And you got to make the kids feel like they're the heroes of the story. And they're going to be braver than the adults. And then just to show how horrible these Philistines are, we're going to have them attack the kids. This is not in the story. This is not what happened. This is your big musical ending that sucks. And that's the problem. The last quarter of this film sucks. We're doing so stinking good and you ruined it in the last quarter. You lost the game. I'm sorry to anyone from the 2000s who just lost the game. Anyway,
Oh my god.
we've reached the end of this review.
Okay, I'd be like, now I understand why you're like at the beginning. It's okay. Now I understand why your perspective is now on it. It's okay. Be like, I do agree. Be like, when you do get the point where the biblical narrative and the story's narrative diverge,
Which I can understand needing to diverge.
yeah,
For the story.
yeah,
And I don't like it that it does.
yeah.
But if you're going to have to make that decision, at least write a good ending. This is a bad ending.
Yeah, it wasn't me like it was one of those, hey, everybody's brave, blah blah blah, and everybody comes in and takes out the Amorites. But at the same time, it's just like, okay, this is a little weird story-wise. This is really odd. But I understand why they're doing it, because it's a kids movie, and you want to make the movie a little more palatable towards children. You just don't want David coming in slaughtering everybody. It makes be like that doesn't make really good children's movies. I understand why they did it, but it makes a very
And I get the feeling that they're
sloppy ending.
I get the feeling that they're trying to trying to be reflective of when David fought Goliath.
Yeah,
And
they
how
are.
this one person who was not afraid was able to stand up to
Oh,
Goliath.
yeah.
Here's the part they missed.
Yeah.
David didn't take out Goliath. God did. He used David's rock to do it. And yeah, David had to be brave to go and stand up and do as God said, but God didn't tell all these Israelites, stand up and say, I'm brave. God's not, it really doesn't even feel like God is in the last quarter of this film. If even the last half, they barely even mention God after David and Goliath. Unless I forgot it, missed it somewhere. I think they may have said, I don't even remember if David said, I will not kill God's anointed when he showed it. He just says, I'm not trying to fight you.
No, he does.
He does say that? I couldn't remember.
He does say, be like, I will not kill the
Okay,
God's
good.
anointed.
They at least are quoting
Yeah, they are.
the actual biblical text. But at the same time, it's like, what about what they said, how that last bit ended with the song was really, it didn't feel like I'm sorry. I'm going to get off on a rant master, and it's not even a fully thought out rant master.
Fair.
So I'm not going to go down that road. It just felt like in order to give this heroic ending, they kind of forgot what the movie was about.
Okay.
But anyway, what are you rating this film?
What am I rating this? So I think with everything that's been said and done, be like I'm kind of leaning on my likes a lot more with this movie. I do agree the third act of this movie is so whacked. It's like what in the it has been kind of played down for the children audience, and it kind of took away a lot with what the inertia, what they were trying to do with this, and it did kind of hurt the film in some ways. I would definitely still give this an 8 because I still love the story. I still love the character design. I absolutely the animation's great. I still love the depiction of Saul. I think it's in some ways for me, I can overlook a little bit of the third act's little debacle. Like definitely after your conversation, I totally get where you're coming from.
Mm-hmm.
I understand why they did it, but it does kind of drop the ball a little bit with the story. But again, they're gearing this towards kids, you're gearing towards a wider audience, and you want to try to do a Jesus narrative in some capacity with this movie. And again, it does deflect from the biblical narrative, but overall, be like, I did enjoy this movie, so I'm giving it an 8.
I'm giving it a 7.
Okay.
It is very well animated. There for the first 3 quarters of this film, I think it's very well done. But in the last quarter, they dropped the ball. And that's unfortunate. So,
Fair.
and if I'm making sports analogies, you know it's bad. But yeah, I'm giving it a 7.
Yeah.
Next week, we're not having
We're
an episode.
off.
Or the week after that.
Yeah.
We are
get-
taking 2 weeks off.
Yeah.
And then we will be coming back after that with a film I didn't bother to put in the notes.
Fist of the North Star.
Ah, yes. I hope we can find it streaming somewhere because I think I marked it Tubi.
It's on Tubi, what you said.
I'm hoping it's still there.
Well, yeah, keep rolling. Bill, let me look it up.
But yeah, we'll be doing Fist of the North Star on our next episode, which was I put on there because it's like, that's an anime movie I haven't seen and is considered a classic. So yeah, let's give it a shot. Hopefully this will not be be like a Ninja Scroll where there's a moment in it I don't know about that's going to embarrass me.
Again, I don't know
You didn't
nothing.
know, you forgot it was going. I understand
I
that.
forgot it happens.
Admittedly, I have not even seen this, so I have no idea what if it's any good. I assume it's good because it's considered a classic. But
Right. Let's see. I'm looking. It looks like it's available to rent on Amazon Prime and on Crunchyroll.
yeah, it looks like it's not on Tubi anymore.
No.
Unless, what is this? Nope, that's not it. Okay, so we'll rent it.
Okay.
We made this list up 6 months ago. Things change.
Yeah, it does.
So yeah, join us next week for that. In the meantime, we're going to hit the intermission, play, and then talk about some Batman.
Yes.
This podcast is a proud member of Culture Box. Whether you enjoy geeky reviews, comedy, or original fiction, you can open up the Culture Box and find something excellent for your soul. Point your web browser to culturebox.media.
This week, we suggest checking out The Rushmore Show. The Rushmore Show is the place for ranking the ultimate top 4 in sports, video games, nostalgia movies, and so much more. Each week, Andy and Kirk spark engaging discussions and friendly debates, making The Rushmore Show your compass in the realm of pop culture rankings. You can find more of them at The Rushmore Show on YouTube, where it's all about your top 4 and nothing more. The Cellcast would also like to thank the following patrons: Edwin Gonzalez, The Book of Gaming, Artsy Seth, PaulGPowers.com, and the Monster Island Film Vault.
Thanks, Nate.
If you would like to have your name shouted out on the show, plus episodes of our Patreon exclusive show, We're Just Super Saiyan, which is coming back in August, you can donate to our Patreon at the $1 level. At the $5 level, you can get all that, plus uncut episodes and without ads. And then at the $10 level, you also get a special alert from Jacob at the $5 level when he gets to it.
And
He's been busy.
I need to schedule doing this stuff, so bear with me.
Fair enough. And then at the $10 level, you get all that. Plus, in 2027, which we were already hearing rumblings of people wanting to buy spots, you can force us to review something within reason. So, yeah, go ahead and do that. Also, check out our Redbubble store for stickers, t-shirts, and various other items. And then if you want to support us without spending any money, please rate and review and subscribe to us wherever you found us, and share us with your friends.
I am vengeance. I am the night. I am Batman. Batman. There is a song the good folks sing.
Cult of the Cat.
Meow.
First aired September 18th, 1998. Production episode 100, broadcast episode 101. We are slowly getting there, folks.
We're getting there.
Directed by Butch Lukic and written by Paul Dini and Stan Berkowitz. Synopsis for this one: Catwoman is pursued by a fanatical cat-themed cult.
Cat scratch fever.
New cast for this: we got Scott Cleverton as Thomas Blake, Jim Piddock as Martin and Robber Number One, and Tasia Valenza as female cultist. Trivia for this episode: Thomas Blake is featured in this episode as the leader of the cat worshipping cult. In the comics, Thomas Blake was the villain known as Catman, an eccentric trapper of jungle cats who turned to crime after squandering his millions. In a post-crisis story from the Legends of the Dark Knight called Heat, where Catman was reimagined as a serial killer in a black cat costume with claw blades on his wrists, where Batman and Catwoman form an uneasy alliance to take him down. While Thomas Blake is never called Catman in this episode, his animated depiction of Thomas Blake is a mashup of the two comic versions. Thomas Blake and his followers do wear black suits with cat claws that pop from their wrists that remind me very much of the Wolverine. This is similar to what post-crisis fiction of Catman wore in the story. As I just mentioned, the comic version of Catman wore a mask and got his hands dirty, while this animated Thomas Blake didn't wear a mask at all, and his followers, of course, did all his dirty work. Lastly, this is one of the few episodes of the series just to feature Batman on a solo adventure without any of his sidekicks, as long as you don't consider Catwoman a sidekick.
That is true.
Because in this one, she pretty much takes that role.
Hold on, let me figure out, because these two episodes kind of blurred together, and I wasn't really that interested in them. Does Robin show up in this one?
No, neither Robin nor Nightwing.
Oh, okay.
They're both in the next one.
Oh, that's right. Thank you.
So what are your thoughts on this? Yeah, we're on the non-circus episode.
Okay, we're not on the non-circus episode. Okay. Because again, these two episodes got blurred together and they were just kind of boring and dull to me.
It's all the cats.
Yeah, exactly. Well, again, I don't dislike cats. I actually like cats.
True. Well, admittedly, this is between the last episode, Critters, this episode, and the episode we're next reviewing.
Yeah.
It's 3 animal-themed episodes in a row, and none of them feature Animal Man. Like you expected him to be in.
You would think so. But I think overall, be like, it's okay. It's a again, I'm trying not to get the two episodes blurred together because they did. The fact that it's an animal, it's a cat cult, and of course it's involving Selena Kyle as Catwoman. And again, like the last time we knew Catwoman was around, she was leaving, and now she's back and more Michelle Pfeiffer looking now.
Well, she was in that episode, that first Nightwing episode.
That's right.
Where she did the exact same thing to Nightwing that she did to Batgirl in the episode she was in last before that.
Yeah, that's right. For some reason, I'm like, this version of Catwoman just is, like, it's not the.
I don't really like the redesign of Catwoman.
I don't either.
I don't want to throw that too much on the actress, who is still the same actress from the original series.
True.
Original. The rest of the series. I think she's doing a good job. It's just I think they ran out of ideas for her, because I could have sworn this reminded me of like a couple of other episodes of Catwoman.
Yeah,
with Catwoman, and it's like, y'all don't really know what to do with Selena, do you?
At this point, they don't.
Yeah,
but I think overall, like, the story's pretty decent. I do enjoy that it is Catwoman. She's trying to steal from this organization again. Batman's trying to get her out of it. And
admittedly, this is the more straightforward of the episodes.
Yeah, it's very straightforward.
The 2 episodes.
I do like the Chimera cat they come up with, and the fact that she's able to tame cats, which would be like she's never. Well, correction, she has earlier on. She did, but yeah, it's kind of a straightforward meat and potatoes kind of story.
Yeah. It's another, we want Batman and Catwoman flirting with each other, so we introduce a cat-themed villain so that they both have a reason to go against the real villain of the story, because, like I said, Catwoman...
He's forgettable by, day one.
Yeah, while Catwoman is still a villain in this, she does take the role of the sidekicks that normally Robin, Nightwing, or Batgirl would have taken in this episode.
Yes.
So... it's an okay episode. It's not the greatest. I'm actually surprised this is a Paul Dini episode, because he's usually better than this. But yeah, this is just a run-of-the-mill episode, and you can kind of tell they don't really know what to do with her. And it's like, all you really have to do is turn her into an actual cat, and you've basically got, you've repeated another episode that she was in where she was not really the villain of the episode. So
Sure.
it's okay. It's not great. And I don't even really care about this cult because I don't even understand what their whole gig was other than they were annoying. It's like if we had discovered in the course of the episode that this Blake character was working for Ra's al Ghul, that would have made more sense. My phone fell.
It's all good.
But yeah, it's just weird, and it's a straightforward, but yet like weirdly like not well thought out episode. And you kind of can feel they may have the writing room may have by this point started to run out of ideas
Fair.
for Batman.
Yeah.
At the moment, as if Critters wasn't a good idea of that, but at least that was a fun episode to watch, even if it was
that's true.
kooky.
And we may or may not get a shirt out of it. You never know.
You never know. Next episode, Animal Act. First aired September 26, 1998. Production episode 101. Broadcast episode 102. Directed by Kurt Gita and written by Hilary J. Bader. In this episode, the animals from Nightwing's old circus are now inexplicably committing crimes. New cast for this one, we've got Jane Walden as Miranda Kane, Corey Burton as the strong man and the knife thrower, and Laurie Johnson as the knife thrower's wife and the obese woman. And I really didn't have any trivia for this episode. So I thought this one was a little more interesting, at least.
Yeah.
I really did like the clown character prior to the reveal that it was actually the Mad Hatter.
Yeah. I gathered it was him, but like when he first showed up, and it was like that design looks a whole lot like the Mad Hatter.
Well, yeah. At the same time, especially the current design of him in this season. But when I first saw him, I thought, okay, this is like this would have been funny if they had him voiced by Mark Hamill for no reason.
That is true.
Or even funnier, get Tim Curry.
Oh, that would have been hysterical.
You know, the original voice of the joke. That was supposed to be the original voice of the Joker in this. But he's pretty much mute until they show off that actually it's Jervis Tetch. It's the Mad Hatter.
It's the Hatter.
And he's brainwashing animals to commit crimes for him.
But okay, so I get that. I do have more of an issue with the whole premise of the idea.
This is more Batman 66 ideas for criminal things, which can be good, could be funny, but that's not what we watch this show for.
That is true. So you have Tetch, who designs another mind control device that he can control animals just by like every their movements, their thoughts, and everything like that. But with humans, he still has to be within close contact. So you're telling me, be like, you can control a gorilla from miles away with your telepathic, neural link, whatever, but you still have to be within close proximity to a human to control them. And I understand the reasoning, because humans are more higher brain function than animals.
That's
what have
the
you.
idea, yes.
Yeah, but at the same time, be like, you haven't worked around that, Tetch?
Here's my problem with that from a science fiction point of view.
Yeah.
Not necessarily from a theological or philosophical point of view, but from a scientific point of view. There's a science fiction point of view. There should be no reason that the human brain and a gorilla brain should be different enough that would make a difference.
Biologically, yes.
And then you get the fact that all the other animals, which at least they only really show mammals, I think, in this.
Bears. Yeah.
Yeah. They at least are of the same type of animal.
Right.
Mammalian, at least. But at the same time, they're not all of the same intelligence level. So even your idea that the human brain is somehow more complex than these animals kind of starts to break down when you have already bridged that much of a gap. That, because the first animal we see in here is a gorilla. Gorillas
true.
can learn a sign language enough to talk to humans
That is true.
in real life. Coco had already happened by this time.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I'm not saying that, and for the Christians who are listening, I'm not saying we're not above the animals. We are above the animals in more ways than one. But I'm just watching this and going, that doesn't make sense from a scientific point of view.
Mm-hmm.
Granted, the fact that you can mind control somebody with a small bit of microchip, it doesn't make sense either, but I kind of can accept it for this. And still, how is this is weird in a goofy episode? And it's like, on one hand, I kind of like going back and seeing Dick Grayson's old haunts and actually meeting people from his past from when he was still working with the circus. And we even meet a old friend of his who's the animal tamer, and you really do get the feeling that she's really does love her animals. She's not mistreating her animals.
No.
And they actually do a good job of making you question, well, maybe she is being the thief.
Mm-hmm.
But then
it does.
But then they let that be the red herring it's supposed to be, and it works. It's just the whole gimmick of this is too 60s comic book for me.
Okay.
It's
that's
too
fair.
66. I like Batman 66, but I go into Batman 66 for the goofiness.
Yeah.
I watch Batman the animated series because they're well-written stories.
True.
And that has started to become less and less true the later into the show we get.
Fair.
And this is just one of the goofier ideas. It's not that it's a bad episode. It's not that it's badly written. I mean, yeah, you can definitely tell it's that same bad animation studio from a couple episodes ago.
Right.
It was the Dong Yu animation or whatever. I looked at it.
Don't give me lying.
The same one that you complained about where Batman's eyes are blinking in and out of
Oh,
existence
yeah.
constantly.
That makes sense.
It's
That
that
makes sense.
animation
Okay.
studio that did this.
Okay.
But yeah, it's an okay episode.
Fair.
Did like Jervis Tetch giving Bullock a run for his money when we thought he was just a clown.
Oh gosh, yes. That was funny.
And then Bullock saying, I hate clowns. It's like, in this town, I bet you do.
Very true.
How you don't have a clown, an entire police division for clown-related crimes at this point,
Mhm.
I don't know. Which is reminding me of a meme. In the criminal justice system, clown and clown-related crimes are considered especially heinous. A special police force called the Insane Clown Posse tries to stop these criminals. These are their stories. Honk, honk.
Okay, gotcha. Wow, I did not think of that one.
I got that off an old meme.
Wow.
That's like gone through Reddit 2 or 3 times.
I think I've seen that one before. Anyways,
Yeah. Anywho,
yeah. Oh my gosh, but yeah,
next week,
2 weeks from now.
2 weeks from now, with Fist of the North Star, we will be looking at the episodes "Old Wounds" and "The Demon Within."
Ra's al Ghul.
I'm
anybody?
assuming with the word "demon," it's Ra's al Ghul.
Yeah.
And for anyone curious,
Or it could be oh crap, what's that actual demon? It's
there's the one that technically was Merlin's. Etrigan.
yes. Yes.
But I don't think that's who you're referring to.
It may be Etrigan.
Etrigan, yeah. There is 2 episodes.
He does pop up in the series.
Yeah, there are 2 episodes coming up not next week, or not in the next episode, but
Yeah.
I'm curious of. Of course, we've got Mad Love coming up on July 31st with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. But then with the Care Bears movie, we've got Legends of the Dark Knight, which from the clip that I saw on Amazon Plus where I'm watching it, looks like it might be another anthology episode, but based on like old Batman cartoons, which looks like it would be interesting.
Huh.
We'll have to see when we get there. Maybe that's the Batmite episode.
Maybe.
Either way, join us next time in 3 weeks.
3 weeks.
because we're skipping 2 weeks
Mhm.
for Fist of the North Star, along with Old Wounds and the Demons Within. But outside of that, in the meantime, this has been Drew,
This is Jacob.
and we'll catch you in the next frame.
To follow Jacob and Drew's individual internet exploits, check out the Linktree links in the show notes. You can email us at thecellcastpodcast@gmail.com. Follow us on Twitter or X at @cast_cell. Follow our Facebook page, The Cellcast Podcast, and join our Facebook group, The Cell Nation, our YouTube channel, Cellcast, and our Rumble channel, The Cellcast Gaming. You can join us every Friday night at 7 p.m. Central for our live recordings of our episodes on Twitch, Facebook, YouTube, and Rumble. You can also join Drew on those same streaming channels on Tuesday nights at 8 p.m. Central for gaming streams. You can listen to our podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or anywhere else fine podcasts can be downloaded from. Please rate and review us where you found us. Our theme song is Drop and Roll by Silent Partner. Our bad movie theme is It's Party Time by Gregory Snegoff, with additional audio from the film Titanic: The Legend Goes On, and remember, that's Cell with a single L.
Does this technically mean that Goliath was stoned?
Womp womp womp. Well, did you see his expression when he got hit?
That's the other meaning for stoned I was thinking of.
Yes, exactly.
I was actually thinking of the other meaning of stoned, where he just gets pummeled with rocks. He just only needed one rock. Anyway, that's the end of the episode, guys. Twitch people, y'all are good. I'm going to have y'all be rating Retro. He is playing Final Fantasy X tonight with his wife, Ashley.
Mhm.
So y'all go and have a good time hanging out with him. We will see y'all in 3 weeks.
Yep. Later.
I almost had it ready to go.
Hit the button.
Well, I have to wait for the raid.
I know. Oh. Oh. Oh my gosh. Wow. Oh, by the way, you cannot officially stream Fist of the North Star, the movie, anywhere.
You're kidding.
Yeah.
Not even on Amazon?
No.
I thought you said it was rentable there.
It's the TV series is.
Oh, crap.
Yeah. But I found a good copy of it on YouTube.
Oh, well, that'll work then.
Yeah, and I looked up, like, how much would it cost to buy the English dub of it? You're looking over $1,000.
When I put that on the list, I double checked that it was on Tubi, and at the time,
It was on Tubi. It's not anymore.
I am sorry about that.
Well, be like, did you put in Fist of the North Star or Fist of the North Star the movie?
I put in Fist of the North Star the movie,
Oh, okay.
or Fist of the North Star movie.
Yeah.
Rental buy on Amazon. That's okay. It's lying. The Google
Yeah.
is lying,
Yeah, it's not
or IMDb is lying. It's giving me the TV show, not the movie.
Mhm. No, hold on.
Okay.
That's the is that the series or the
It came up to the series.
Oh, okay. Just brace for impact on this one.
I'm not doubting you. Yeah, $146. I
Yeah.
think. Crunchyroll. Okay. Even then, that's technically season. The second movie. I think it's just still the TV show.
It's still a series.
I mean, that annoys me.
Yeah.
$146.
Yeah. Because it's been out of print since the 80s or 90s at least. I sent you a link, by the way.
Oh, I have no doubt.
Yep, that's it. And you know, all of
What the crap? Is this? I didn't know there was a live action.
Oh
one.
yeah, there was a live action movie a couple years back.
Okay. Yeah, it was the 1986 one. Is the one I was thinking
Yeah.
of. It's probably on the archive also. Okay, I'm sorry about that, man.
No, you're good. Because I was looking myself and I was like, where in the world is this? And it's like, it kept sending me to like, oh yeah, the new movie. Oh yeah, the series. Blah, 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 blah. It's like, no, that's what I'm looking for.
I went to Tubi's website, or went to Tubi 6 months ago, and it looked like it was the actual movie I was looking for.
It probably was.
And
Like
now it's probably going because who knows who
all
owns
the
rights to
research
it.
I have done, everything I looked up, be like it was currently unavailable on Tubi.
Guess what I forgot to do?